Так, всім привіт! Рада вас бачити, не чути, а просто бачити на нашому вебінарі. Давайте спочатку перевіримо звук. Тому поставте, будь ласка, плюсики в чат, якщо мене добре чути. Ага. Окей. Якщо мене не чути, я не знаю, моргніть двічі або перезайдіть, просто новіть сторінку, тому що має бути. Все нормально. Прекрасно. Good. Окей. Перед тим, як ми почнемо, перейдемо до основного контенту, буквально кілька слів про те, чому ми сьогодні тут разом. Цей вебінар – результат класної роботи, класної колаби IT-VDN і Solid English School. Як ми всі знаємо вже, IT-VDN – це одна з найсильніших платформ для прокачки технічних скілів в IT. І якщо ви колись гуглили, як розібратись у C# за тиждень, можливо, або ні, 100% ви вже не траплялись на їх контент. Тому це прям моргнули, тому що не чули, чи що? Моргнути, ага, все, окей, ми продовжуємо, тому що по плюсикам я все поняла, мене чутно, класно. Продовжуючи. Solid English School – це англійська для IT і бізнесу. І працюємо ми саме з тими, хто хоче не просто вивчити мову, знаєте, там 50 видів виделок, 20 видів дерев англійської, 5 видів медведів і так далі, а впевнено користуватися її на роботі, на мітах, інтерв'ю, в листуваннях, демо і перемовинах, ну, і таке інше. Тобто фактична імплементація мови у житті. І от сьогодні ми об'єднались, щоб розібратись з однією суперважливою темою. Суперважливою темою – це мотиваційні питання на співбесіді англійською, як на них відповідати. Ці питання звучать просто, навіть дуже просто, але змушують зависнути, знаєте, навіть впевнених спеціалістів по типу «Why do you want this job? What motivates you? Why did you switch to IT?» Бо тут треба говорити все ж таки не про досвід, а про себе, свої рішення, свої плани, а ще й англійською. І без «You know, I like challenges» ні, це таке не працює. І сьогодні я покажу вам, по-перше, як структурувати відповіді, щоб звучати переконливо, як не злетіти в кліше, і як навіть за мінімальним досвідом сформулювати щиру і чітку відповідь. Так, дуже сильно вибачаю, собака в кадрі. Перепрошую. Чітку відповідь, яка запам'ятається рекрутеру. Але ми не просто поговоримо, ми ще й попрактикуємо. І знову але, кілька слів про спікера, кілька слів про мене, щоб ви розуміли, хто я така і чому я взагалі тут щось розповідаю. По-перше, мене звати Аліна, я керівниця академічного відділу Solid English School, і ми вже понад 7 років допомагаємо IT-спеціалістам та бізнес-командам впевнено комунікувати англійською. Пам'ятаєте, це не про 20 видів виделок англійської. Також маю Cambridge CELTA з відзнакою Pass A. Хто в темі і шарі, це дуже крута штука. І значить, що я знаю, як трошки викладати англійську. І вже понад 5 років викладаю бізнес English та English for IT. За цей час я розробила кілька курсів від General English до вузькопрофільних, таких як English for Sales, English C1 Business і так далі, і так далі. Також я регулярно проводжу вебінари, тренінги та корпоративні сесії. І знаєте, за всі ці роки я точно знаю, що навіть дуже сильні фахівці часом губляться, коли треба пояснити щось просте, особливо англійською, особливо на співбесіді. Тому сьогодні ми це виправимо. О май гад, дякую. Як я люблю ці коментарі. Чому в мене немає C2? В мене C3. Сорі, вибачаюсь. Але, знову ж таки, перше, ніж ми перейдемо далі, я хочу трошки почути про вас. Зараз попрошу написати в чат. По-перше, звідки ви, місто, ким ви хочете працювати або ким ви вже працюєте, і який у вас рівень англійської. Ага. Спікер навчалася в Харківському національному педагогічному університеті на філолога. Я не міжнародник і я не економіст. Трошки знаю. Угу. Окей, але повертаємось. Місто, future profession та English level. Ага, у нас є тут A2. Дніпро. Класно. Нещодавно була в Дніпрі, by the way. Дуже красиве місто. DevOps, B2. Ну, B2 – це прям хороший рівень. Ага, from Kyiv, Future Product Manager, B1. Супер! Полтава, UX, UI Designer, B2. Київ, IT Recruiter, B2. Хоче працювати джуном, приходиться сіньором. Як я вас розумію, боже мой. Херсон, Софедов, B2, B1. Окей, в принципі, я так бачу, що багато людей з рівнем B2, B1, A2, давайте так, сесія сама буде проводитися англійською мовою, і якщо буде щось незрозуміло, прошу вас писати в чатик. Типу, Аліна, не поняв це слово, що це таке? Поясни, будь ласка. Казала B2, відчуваю B1. Таке теж відчувається інколи. Ага. Ви знаєте, C1 можна також інколи відчувати на A2, коли не виспишся. C-Sharp Developer B1. Супер! Окей. Коротше, я зрозуміла, люди тут знають англійську. Буде про що поспілкуватись. Угу. Топ. Окей. Для чого я це питаю? Не просто, щоб, знаєте, зайняти час, а тому що це допоможе мені краще розуміти, з чим ми сьогодні працюємо, які приклади вам будуть максимально корисні. І плюс, може, хтось навіть знайде колегу по болю в чаті. Я не знаю, але також можливо. І рухаємось далі. І переключаємось на англійську. Стрес. Окей. And here's what we're going to cover today. First, we'll break down what motivational questions really test. So it's not just about why you want this job. Not about just this one. Two, we'll talk about why these questions are actually hard to answer, especially in English, and especially when you're switching careers. Next, how to structure your answers clearly and naturally, which is the most important, even if you're not super confident in your English. I know that even people with B2 can sometimes say, I'm not confident with my English. But we'll not talk about this. Okay, also, you'll see real-life examples and simple templates you can use right away. And of course, we'll practice. Because if you don't practice your answers, they won't come out smoothly during any interview you'll be in. The goal is simple today. By the end of this session, of this webinar, you will be able to create 1-2 honest, clear, and confident answers to, these typical motivational questions we'll discuss. So, okay, before we continue, I see some questions. Absolutely agree with you. Absolutely. I actually would say that you don't have to go to Ireland or Scotland, and even that would be enough to go to London and to talk to real Londoners. You will understand nothing. I mean, not nothing, but 20%. The recording will be on YouTube. So yeah, it will be saved on the ATVDN channel. So it's fine. That's fine. You'll be able to watch it later. So put a plus in the chat if you are ready to start, please. I want to activate you, I want to make you active, not just to passively listen. Pluses, I'm waiting for pluses. Okay, lovely. Okay, oh, that's amazing. That is amazing. Okay, let's go. So let's take a quick look at some real motivational questions recruiters ask, like, describe a time you failed and what you learned, or how do you handle stress and pressure, or what makes you different from other candidates. That sounds simple, but here's the thing. They are not asking that for fun, and they're not asking them for test your English or anything. These questions help recruiters understand how you think, how you deal with challenges, and what motivates you, and how self-aware you are. So it's not about saying perfect things. It's about, how to put it in the right words, it's about showing how you reflect, grow, and fit into the team's or company's culture. So this is the chance to show your mindset, not just your CV. CVs are perfect. We all know that. All right, let's... Не треба нас активувати. Sorry. Вибачаюсь. All right. Let's talk about what recruiters actually look for when they ask motivation questions, because it's really seldom what people expect. Let's be honest. So, not perfect English, but clear motivation. Recruiters are not English teachers. I mean, often. They don't care if your grammar isn't ideal. What they do care about is whether you can explain clearly why you're applying for this specific role and why this drives you to do this kind of work. They want to hear logic, not language perfection. And as far as you may have heard, natives, they make mistakes all the time. We all know that. I mean, think about your Ukrainian. You make mistakes all the time because this is the language, and language is natural, and language is live, so it has mistakes. But what you say makes more sense than how you say it. Of course, we want to be perfect, but still. Okay, the next one, not ideal experience, but rather self-awareness. Here, you don't have to have perfect CV or perfect answer, but what matters more is whether you understand your own story. Like, can you explain your transition into tech? Or do you know your current limits and strength, weaknesses, soft spots, or something? Or are you honest about whether you are where you're going? There's a not philosophical question. There are strict questions you have to answer. And that kind of self-awareness is more valuable than, listing every certificate you've collected. Period. And the next one, not memorizing textbook answers, but problem-solving mindset. Generic phrases like, I'm a great team player. I have great time management skills. They don't tell the recruiters anything. What they actually want is the sense of how you think, how you react to problems, and whether you can really learn from the experience. Your answers should show your thinking process, how you think, and not just repeat what you think they want to hear. Because we expect them to hear from us that we have nice soft skills, hard skills, but no, speak about yourself. Don't try to copy paste these textbooks or post from LinkedIn. That doesn't work. In short, motivation questions are not grammar tests, not memory tests, and not bragging contests where you show off. They are the thinking test. Recruiters want to see how well you understand yourself, your choices, and the way you work. And now, let's talk structure. Yeah. So let's talk structure because, even strong ideas, they can fall flat without a clear and logical format. And there are two main types of motivational questions you'll face, and each one needs a different kind of answer. The first type is when you are asked to tell a story, like, tell me about a challenge you overcame, or describe a time you made a mistake and what you learned. For this, you will use the STAR method. Situation, task, action, result. I know you heard it for 100 times, but still, revision, repetition is the perfection. We have to. Because this method keeps your answers focused and easy to follow. And it helps you to avoid, this rambling, stumbling over the words, and missing the point. The second type is more abstract questions like, why did you choose IT? What motivates you? Why do you want this job? We know all these questions, right? And for this, we will use this mini formula: problem, reason, future, plan. This formula works especially well if you're switching careers, and it gives you the way to explain your logic without, oversharing or sounding unsure. So bottom line, structure, it's not about sounding prepared or perfect. It's about making your answers easier to follow and easier to remember. You have to be remembered. And that's what exactly recruiters appreciate. So let's break down one of the most popular and trickiest motivation question, like, tell me about the time you had a conflict at work and how you handled it. And this is a question that makes a lot of people just freeze. And I think not because they don't have a story, but because they just don't know how to tell it clearly, briefly, and professionally. That's the most important here. And that's where the STAR structure comes in. So S stands for situation, where and when it happened. For example, during a group coding project, my teammates and I had very different ideas about how to approach the task. One sentence of context. No need for backstory. Just tell us where we are. Then, task. What goal or problem you faced? For instance, we had to finish the project in 3 days, but couldn't agree on the best solution. And here you show the tension or the challenge, and that makes the story worth telling and worth listening. Then goes action, what you personally did. You can say, I proposed a quick sync call to align ideas, suggested we test both approaches, and then decided together. And this is the most important part, because the recruiters want to hear what you did, not the team, not the company, not your team lead, but what you personally did to resolve the situation. And the last one is result. What changed or improved because of you again? For instance, we combined the past parts from both solutions and completed the project on time. And this is simple, this is clear, this is positive, and even better, if you can show clear results with numbers, not just, oh, we improved the project so much. That was so fun. That was so cool. No, speak about the numbers, speak about the percentage. So, yeah, this is a solid answer, and not because it's dramatic, I want to highlight it, but because it's structured, that's realistic, and that shows key soft skills. Conflict resolution, you see here, collaboration, and ownership. And that's what the recruiters are listening for. Now, let's change the focus. Yeah. And go through a real case together. So this part will help you to see what works, what doesn't, and why some answers sound stronger, more natural than others, and so on. And here, this is the most uncomfortable answer. What are your weaknesses? And here are two possible answers. Example 1, example 2. Please write in the chat number of the example you think is better. Better. 1 or 2. Just drop the number. 1 or 2. Which is better? 1 or 2. Any ideas? Okay. 1 or 2. Which is better? I see, Lara, you think it's 1. What about other guys? Do you agree? Maybe it's 2. I think there's some background music missing, like the saxophone or violin playing while I'm waiting for the answers. What about others? What do you think? Which one sounds better? I have to speak up. I have to speak. So you're not even silent. Okay. We still have only one answer. 1. Okay. Okay. Lovely. Okay. I got it. So the majority goes for Why not? I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm not giving you the answer right now. I'm just asking. Okay. See, there's 1 fans. Okay, I got it. Got it. So let's look at the both examples and break them down. The first one. Earlier in my career, I struggled with delegating tasks. We see it's clear, that's honest, and this is a real weakness. That's not the fake one. Then you say, as I took on more responsibilities, I realized that handling everything myself wasn't efficient and could slow down the team. Here we show the awareness of impact. That's what the recruiters listen for, whether we understand the impact of our weakness. Next one, to overcome this, I started using project management tools and setting clear expectations with my team. Here we show what actions you took. You didn't just notice the problem, you wanted to solve it, and you took some steps to solve this problem. And the next one is, now I'm much better at trusting my colleagues and distributing tasks effectively. And here is the visible progress that we can touch. This visible progress. Not like I'm perfect now, I'm great, and I'm good, but I worked on it. I saw the problem, I worked on it. I knew that was my weakness, but still I'm getting better and I'm trying. And now let's look at example 1. I've always been extremely dedicated to my work. Translation: I work too hard. I'm so good. I'm such a workaholic. I love my job. So yeah. Next one. I find myself overworking on weekends because I care too much. You know, you sound like showing off, and that's no real progress. There's only guilt. Like, I'm such a great one that I love my job so much that I care too much that I have to work. So yeah. Next one. I've been trying to take more breaks, but I couldn't, yeah. But my hard work pays off. There is no actual action, no reflection at all. And it circles back to, I'm so great. I'm such a great worker, sorry. And recruiters see right through this. So the key takeaway: give the real weakness that doesn't disqualify you. First. 2, show what you did to work on it. And 3, end with improvement, not perfection. You don't want to say that I'm perfect now, but I know I had this weakness. I improved, and I know that I'm better now, but I'm still working on it. And it's still not the end. All right. Let's go here. Yeah, I mean, absolutely right. 2 is not good. Now, it's your turn. What are your weaknesses? I want you to go deeper and don't just name traits, but using the STAR method to give real examples. And I will ask you to take 2 minutes. You can drop your answers in the chat, describe your weaknesses, and I will give the feedback on them. So again, I will be reading a couple of responses and we'll quickly review what works and what could be stronger and so on and so forth. But still, take your time and apply this STAR method yourself. And again, there should be some background music. Okay. I know, I have to say something, so just to make it interesting for others who watch this webinar and don't write anything. Okay, just take your time. I hope you're writing, and I hope that we will have a lot to comment on. And again, I want to highlight that you shouldn't forget about specific examples of the weaknesses, the clear impact, and how it went to the personal growth of yourself, of course. Okay, I think that we're still in the process, right? Sorry if you hear my dog. And yeah. He's also waiting for the answers. And the first time I heard about the STAR method, I was like, but that's logical. But when it came to practice, that wasn't that easy, especially when I had to teach it. Okay, now we have the first umbrella. My greatest weakness is that I get impatient. If I'm not mistaken, Tatiana, you said that you are the future product manager, right? Just put a plus if that's true. You see, I remember every one of you. That's not a threat. Okay. And if we analyze it, we see here that we have the situation. That's the situation with the deadlines. The task, that's not clear. I would like you to provide more details about your role and about your expectations. Also, there is no actions. I mean, what do you do when that happens? So the projects run past the deadline, and what do you do? And the result. How does it impact you or your team, and whether you made it to change? We can, by the way, we can paraphrase it, improve a bit, saying, like, for instance, in the past, we're speaking about experience in the past. I used to get impatient when the projects ran past the deadline. Don't have experience yet. Okay. But we're getting it. So I used to get impatient when projects ran past the deadline. I realized it affected the team dynamics. So I started using shared trackers to stay aligned and communicate early about delays. And now I'm more focused on solutions and not just timing. Yeah, in this case, we have this situation, task, action, and result. Okay, we see one more from Elizabeth. I got it. I was working on multiple vacancies simultaneously while also helping coordinate communication with the client without asking for much help. I realized I was burning out and the quality of my pipeline started to suffer. Oh, I got it. I started using weekly planning and task management tools. I see it. Okay, let's analyze it together. Here we have, I was working, so this is the situation. Multiple vacancies simultaneously. That's super clear, that's simple, and we have the clear context. Speaking about the task, just a sec. And what was the goal? What was your goal here? For example, to keep the quality of recruitment or to sustain quick communication. What was that? What was the task? Action. Start using weekly planning task management tools. Okay. And the result, realized I was burning. If we change burning out, and the quality of my pipeline starting to suffer. So here we see it honestly and clear. And here I would also add from your side what changed, what you've learned, what you learned from this experience. For example, since then I've become better at management. At managing workload without sacrificing quality, something like that. Oh, okay, my efficiency and focus improved. Absolutely. I loved it so much. Lovely. Okay, if no more volunteers to be assessed, I think we'll continue. Oh my gosh, one more. Okay, we have time for the last one and we'll proceed. I'm a Alex, I get it. Lara, I'm a perfectionist, and in the past I've noticed that it was difficult for me because I tried to make everything perfect. Started working on it and realized better work done. Okay. Lovely. Let's analyze together. I'm a perfectionist. Guys, do you think it is situation? So do you think that this gives us enough context? I'm just asking. Put a plus if you think so. Music background. So I'm a perfectionist. Is it situation or is it a task? What's that? Nope. What nope? Not exact. If you were in my lesson, I would suffocate you with, why? Why do you think so? Give me more examples. Give me your idea. But yeah, but actually here we have, I'm a perfectionist. In the past, I've noticed that was difficult for me. Try to make everything perfect. Yeah, so you gave actually a general context. It's still, I would say, a bit vague, and there is no specific example or situation. So a perfectionist and what? And what did it lead to? What happened with it? Yeah. The task. I would say that the task wasn't clearly stated wasn't enough stated. What exactly were you trying to achieve that was affected by your perfectionist? You could have added this one too. Yeah, I like that Anastasia's comment. Need to add more details like perfection is the word. Exactly, right. But we have here action. I started working on it and I realized better work done and time. Okay, this is a good start. Here you show the awareness and a shift in mindset. We can say it, yeah, shift in mindset, like, yeah, I realized. But the action is described too briefly. So what exactly did you do differently? What exactly? And the result is also very short, like it's applied but not fully described. Like, did you start delivering faster? Was your team happier? Did your timelines improve, project timelines improve? So we don't know it. That's why, yeah, this is what we can improve. So for instance, you can say, if coming back to your earlier in my career, I struggled with perfectionism. I would spend too much time polishing every detail, even when deadlines were tight. Yeah, we highlight the problem was with the deadlines. And you can say that I realized that done on time is more valuable than perfect but late. Yeah, so we have it. Then I started setting time limits for each task and focused on delivering complete, solid work and so on and so forth. And as a result, I became much more efficient and my team could rely on me to meet the deadlines without sacrificing the quality, something like that. Yeah, that sounds fancy, but still, this is how we can expand it and improve. Okay. Lovely. So let's move on, because yeah, we ran out of time. I would comment on everything, but still. We will shift from stories to something even trickier, talking about your motivation. And here is the question a lot of people hate, like, what motivates you at work? What motivates you to choose IT? Why do you want to work here? And, so on and so forth. And the mistake most candidates make, they give abstract answers like, oh, because it's interesting. I want to grow. Or there are lots of money in IT. I want to get it. But you see, that's not enough actually, right? And that's why we can use this simple mini formula, 3 clear parts. First, it's problem. Like, what was missing in your past experience? Maybe you didn't feel challenged. Maybe you wanted more creativity. Maybe you were tired of doing work that had no impact, that was useless for you. Then you go to reason. For example, why IT? I see your comments. Okay. Why IT? Why this role? Why this company? So this is where you show you thought about your path. You self-reflected on it and you know what to share. And what exactly attracts you? So that can be product thinking, problem solving, growth, culture, anything. Think about this. What attracts you here? And 3, this is future plan. What do you want to build, learn, or achieve next. Like, do not say, I want to develop professionally. That's vague. That gives nothing. But instead, you can say, I want to work with real life products that solve user problems, or I want to become strong in front end and join a product team. So this is how you explain your motivation with, this clarity in direction, and not just, this vague ambition. I want to be great. I want to be good. And what? You need to show. And what? So let's see how this mini formula works in life. Funny, I'm awfully sorry. I have a Chihuahua and he constantly, so yeah, maybe he doesn't like the topic or me speaking. I don't know. Okay, let's see. The question, why did you switch to IT? This is classic, especially for switchers, career changers, and so on. So it's not about providing you're perfect for this role. It's about showing that your decision is thoughtful and grounded. And here we see problem. I felt that my previous job didn't allow me to grow or use my problem-solving skills. First of all, that gives honest context. It doesn't blame, but it shows what was missing. You see that I felt that my previous job didn't allow me to grow. To grow where? In what skill? What exactly are you talking about? And here we're talking about a particular skill, problem solving, right? That was the problem. I couldn't apply my problem solving skill. I'll develop it. Next, reason. I chose IT because it combines creativity, logical thinking, and constant development. So this shows what specifically, exactly attracted you. It's not just, oh, IT is cool, or everyone goes to IT, or I want more money. No, you give the specific answer. The next one is future plan. I want to become a skilled software developer and contribute to meaningful projects. So this part shows direction. That's you're not just, escaping your old job. Like, oh, I didn't like my previous job. That's why I'm changing, But you're aiming towards something new, towards something interesting. So show it. And together, these 3 points, they create a confident, mature answer. No fluff, no cliche, no over-promising, just clarity and the purpose. That's it. Short and brief. Like the album of Sabrina Carpenter, short and sweet. So the same, but about job interviews. Free coffee. And okay, yeah. So I want to apply with this job because you have the cooler or you have free coffee. Lovely. Let's move on to the next one. Another example. So this time for a broader, it's more personal question, like what motivates you? And this one can feel harder because there's no clear storyline, but the structure still works. So let's break it down. Problem. In my past jobs, I lacked opportunities to build real solutions. You don't need to criticize old employers, right? You just point out what was missing for you. For instance, you don't want to say, oh, my boss was I can't swear, was a bad guy. That's why I couldn't achieve my goals. No, but you just say, I lacked opportunities, but I really wanted to get more opportunities to develop my problem-solving skill, critical thinking anyway. Reason. I'm motivated when I can see the impact of my work and improve processes. Notice how specific this is. It's not, I like learning or I want to grow. I mean, everyone wants to learn. Everyone wants to grow. But this answer gives a real, this motivator that connects to real world work. What exactly you want to do. What exactly? Keep that in mind. Exactly. And the next one, future plan. I'm excited to work on innovative IT product that makes life easier for people. Again, it's not the vague dream. I want to be a good developer. I want to work in a good company. I want to develop good products. Here we see the direction. Something the recruiters can imagine you doing inside their company. They can imagine how exactly you can influence their company. And the beauty of this formula is that it's short, honest, and this is really adaptable. So you can use it for career changes, company switches, motivation, or, this even vision questions like, where do you see yourself in 3 years? That's also possible. All right. Мотивацію, ладно? Alex, I love you so much. Okay. We looked at 2 examples before, and now it's time to build your own. And the question is, why are you excited about starting your career in IT? And here, you already seen the structure. Now follow these 3 steps. Problem, what wasn't working in your past job or study experience. Maybe it felt routine. Maybe you couldn't grow because of something. Maybe you weren't solving real problems. 2, reason. Why IT? Why this direction? Think of what attracts you, like building things, solving problems, creating logic, teamwork, learning, anything. Reflect in the end. And 3, future plan. What do you want to do next? So build real products, maybe work in dev team, create solutions that matter, anything. So take 2 minutes of your time to sketch the version and drop it in the chat so I can assess it. I can comment on it, give you feedback. Because, I think that we spoke a lot about the STAR methods before, and maybe in the previous webinars you also heard about this. But still, we need to practice, because without practice, that doesn't make sense. You can listen 10, 20 webinars and know about 20 more system structures, how to speak up. But if you don't do anything, what's the point? It's like to learn grammar rules, but still wait till the moment you know all the grammar of C2 level. And when I know C2 level grammar, then I can start speaking. No, start doing it now. Now I still try to interact with you while I'm waiting for your replies. Okay. Okay. Tanya, I see your answer. Good. I've always been interested in new technology and innovation. My last job couldn't manage to provide me with any related way to practice. So I've decided to switch where we don't have future plan. I think that's the back of maybe the chat that doesn't provide you with the opportunity to write the bigger answer. So maybe, Tanya, you will give us the second part. Okay. So what we have for now? Problem. Always been interested in technologies. So we have experience here, right? It's possible. I mean, why not? To provide some background. My last job couldn't manage to provide me. I like this phrasing, like couldn't manage to provide. That sounds fancy, I would say. Any related ways to practice it? Problem. So I decided to switch. Reason. So because of the chat lag, maybe I'm waiting for the second part. Okay. What about the other guys? Okay. We have rejects in this chat. Alex, are you an HR? Share experience? Yes, a rejected. That's lovely. I love that we have, this lively communication. I like to earn money. Wow. I also like. And what? Is it the problem? Is it the reason? Is it your future plan? Okay. Okay. That is amazing. So yeah, at least I hope that you practice that to yourself. If you're shy, to write that in the chat so you can at least speak up, practice again to yourself, but still do it. Do practice. It's like, dreaming of having a perfect body, dreaming of and going past the gym. Head lead senior DevOps. Alex, you're my lover in this webinar. Love it so much. Okay. So, these are the things I actually wanted to discuss with you. And I wanted to give you this practice so you see how it really works. So not just imagining, but in fact. And the last thing that we will focus on today, it's how to sound convincing and how to sound real, how to deliver. So not just what you say, but how you say it. Because even when the structure is great, like STAR method, these 3 mini steps and so on and so forth, and your idea is solid, the way you phrase it can either build trust or kill it instantly. And here are 3 essential rules that make your answers feel real, confident, and trustworthy, especially in English. First, speak simply. That will show clarity of your thinking. Here we see, I'm highly passionate about achieving operational excellence. That sounds formal, generic, and overly polished. Like, this ChatGPT generated that for you before you went to the interview. But if you say, I enjoy improving how things work. So plain English often sounds more mature and confident. That it shows that you don't need big words to sound smart. You do this. And recruiters, they loved clear thinkers. And clear thinkers use clear language. Remember, clear and concise communication. Next one, be personal, be memorable. For instance, I'm highly motivated by innovation. And what? We are all motivated by that. That's too abstract. That could be anyone's answer. No emotional hook, no story, no proof, like nothing. But if you say, I love building small app during my course, it made me feel proud, this creates mental image. The recruiter can picture you, how you felt motivated and connect with your story. I mean, how you felt motivated during the course when you did this. Connect with your story, connect with you, and remember you among all others, all other candidates. And 3, stay honest and not perfect. So here, we see, I'm still growing my technical skills, but I'm quick to learn and not afraid to ask questions. So this shows self-awareness. This shows learning ability. So these things recruiters value more than knowing everything. We don't know everything, but your ability to admit it, that leads you. So if you try to sound perfect, you come off rehearsed or robotic. If you sound real, you can come off reliable. And tech teams don't need heroes. They need learners who can collaborate, adapt, and improve fast. And I do that. So yeah, this is a really great slide that I prepared. Thank you, Alex. Okay, so key takeaways from our session today. First, structure matters. If you don't structure your answers, it's just a monologue. Because even a great story or insight loses power when it's just messy, when it's nothing. 2, real is bigger value than perfect. Trying to sound perfect usually backfires. It creates this distance and makes you sound scripted or even insecure, and we don't want it. The next one, specific examples, stronger impression. Because general answers don't stick. But one well-known chosen example creates this, clear mental image and makes you memorable. Because remember, don't say, I love learning. We all do love learning, but say, I built a mini project in my life to practice React, and I loved it so much because it helped me understand how hook works. Example. And the last one, simple English equals clear thinking. You're not tested on academic vocabulary. You're tested on how clearly you can explain what matters to you. Simple doesn't equal basic. It means focused, confident, and human. And if you apply just these 4 ideas, your interview answers will instantly sound stronger, smarter, and more honest. Really, believe me. Sometimes speak simple may look like you have big vocabulary. Not sure. I mean, if you pay attention in the way how you communicate in Ukrainian, you do not use over-sophisticated words or phrases or chunks. You communicate simply, even at work. So you do not use дислоціюватись. You use ходити, приходити, іти, but not дислоціюватись. But that sounds smart. So, no. But okay. А тепер свідчимось назад на українську, переходимо українською. Зараз буде трошки важко. Нормально. Чому? Тому що, funny moment, ми підготували спеціальну пропозицію, яка діє тільки для учасників цього вебінару. Це знижка мінус 50% на відеокурс English for IT Specialist. Це курс, який ми створили саме для тих, хто зараз в процесі пошуку роботи в IT або починає роботу в IT. І хочу підкреслити, що це не загальна англійська, а повноцінна підготовка до співбесіди в IT, комунікації в командах, колів, листувань, фідбеку і навіть помічників. Тож тепер, знову ж таки, мінус 50%. Я просто хочу зараз ще на секундочку тут затриматись. Можемо піти далі. І тепер давайте подивимося, що саме входить в курс і як обрати найзручніший для себе формат. По-перше, знову ж таки, це, знаєте, всі кажуть, це не просто курс англійської, але я вам так скажу, ми всією командою не тільки тічерів, методистів, але ще й девелоперів, дизайнерів, багато яких спеціалістів закликали для того, щоб зробити цей курс максимально корисними. Тобто це не ті теми, які тічер вважає буде класно, круто з вами обговорити, а дійсно, які направлені на підготовку до реального життя в IT-компанії. І ми тут зібрали все, що зазвичай, знаєте, виноситься на окремі довгі курси. Це окремий здоровезний блок про співбесіди, це англійська для Scrum Meetings, це листування, фідбеки, нетворкінг, це AI-інструменти для роботи з англійською. І це все в одному курсі. Тобто всі формати дають вам повний доступ до, по-перше, це 39 відеоуроків. Ну, I'm sorry. Це не 4 відео подивитись на Ютубі. 4 домашки з перевіркою тічера. Типу, не просто написати собі з чатом GPT поспілкуватись, а це дійсно жива людина буде перевіряти і давати вам фідбек на ваші відповіді. 17 лексичних тренажерів для того, щоб ви дійсно попрактикували те, що ви вивчаєте, а не просто подивились відосик, лайк, поїхали далі. Квізи до кожного уроку, щоб перевірити знання. Лексичні, граматичні конспекти, якими ви зможете користуватись після курсу. Також сертифікат, який показує, що ви пройшли цей курс, що ви знаєте цю базу, що який також можна підкріпити до LinkedIn, чому ні. І плюс підтримка саппорт-менеджера. Типу, це не так, що ви все, купили курс, забули про нього, вас ніхто не знає, не пам'ятає, мені треба допомога, а хто, і куди, а коли. Ні, за вами буде закріплений саппорт-менеджер. Але, є одне але, відео самі по собі не вчать говорити. Ми це знаємо. Саме тому ми створили про-пак, щоб ви не просто дивились, типу відео на ютубчики ми всі знаємо, а реально говорили. Тобто про пак – це весь стартер-пак, який я тільки що перерахувала, всі ці плюшки, abilities і так далі. Далі це йде speaking clubs, це щотижневі онлайн-зустрічі. Один speaking club місяць, тобто це щотиждень 4 speaking club'и на місяць. Плюс це доступ до поспікаємо ком'юніті, тобто це щоденна практика в чаті, де ви щодня пишете, отримуєте відповідь, нетворкінг з іншими людьми. Тобто це не просто hello, how are you, I'm good today, thank you very much, goodbye. Ні, це, я вважаю, ідеальний баланс, тобто у вас є відео, у вас є практика, не забагато, не замало, саме те, в принципі, що і потрібно для результату. Тому, якщо сумніваєтесь, про пакт це точно вам підійде. Третій варіант, звісно ж, як я могла його пропустити, це Ultimate. Це вже повний all-inclusive. Там вже входить 2 місяці speaking clubs, щоденна практика в чаті. Знову ж таки, тобто основна різниця – це те, що у вас буде не 4 speaking club'и, а вже 8. 2 місяці. Можемо порахувати, да? Такий момент. Тим паче, за знижкою 50%, знову ж таки, think about it, це виходить дешевше, ніж 1 година з репетитором. Да? Тобто, таке. Ми це пам'ятаємо, ми це знаємо, ми це understand. Окей. Вікно з розцінками. Боже, це так фані, мені це так подобається, клас. Да, і першим, ніж ми закінчимо, я хочу чесно вас запитати. Was this webinar useful? І як вам взагалі? Обирайте емодзі, обирайте номерок, де давайте 1 – це взагалі фігня повніша. Надіюсь, ви не оберете. 2 – it was okay. І 3 – wow, I'm impressed. Або, як каже Алекс, я хочу індиви з Аліною. Speaking general. Ні, speaking не general English, це не про спікати про погоду і яка класна у нас весна, а це робочі теми. Це нетворкінг, це міти, це можуть інколи бути general теми, якщо студенти цього захочуть. Типу, ми не стік ту ідею, що ні, тільки про роботу ми говоримо. Це абсолютно люба тематика, будь-яка тематика, але все ж таки більш поглиблена на робочу, бізнес і IT-комунікацію. Миколі не сподобалось. Ага, 3. Ой, клас, мені подобаються ці смайлики, емоції. Клас. Сорі, що затримала вас на 3 хвилиночки вашого часу. Окей, гайс, дякую вам за цей час. Мені так подобається, що ви були такі включені, активні і просто максимально кайфова аудиторія. Я сподіваюся, що ви забрали сьогодні щось практичне, це структури, приклади, натхнення, і вже знаєте, як відповідати на ті самі тріки motivational questions. От. І якщо ви хочете дійсно впевнено звучати на співбесіді, знати, що сказати в чаті, колах з клієнтом, відеокурс English for IT, саме для цього ми це знаємо, think about it. Короткі уроки, реальні кейси, практичні фрази, без води, без цього I hope this email finds you well, що нам вже не потрібно, і так далі. Окей, дякую всім ще раз. І до зустрічі на курсах, до наступного вебінарі. І ще раз хочу сказати, що ви супер. Дякую всім. Всім пока.